in my new studio. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of my team. We're going to wing it today. But David Yonta from Behind the Velvet Rope is in the house today.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you guys.
Well, we figured you'd like spice things up with this housewife drama going on. We've got, what season are we on right now?
18.
18. And this is my first year ever watching it from start to finish.
Why did you decide to watch it this year?
Well, because my house is in it and Gina listed it, and I want to see her in all her glory, Casa de Vargas. And I watched the episodes and it looks fabulous. But I heard there was some drama behind the scenes. There's a bunch of crap going on. None of the girls like me, and Shannon's mad at me, and they're all saying Gina can't sell my house. So there's just drama everywhere. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just going to have David on and let's clarify a bunch of this crap and get into the tea.
Let's clarify it. Now, before we get into that, I feel like, a lot of people, your listeners, of course, know what you've been up to. But for the Behind the Velvet Rope listeners, like, what has been up with you? And the house is not sold yet, right?
Correct. We listed it for 2 months. And then now we're waiting for the season to open in November. So it's truly going to be listed. I remodeled the master bedroom because all of Gina's clients were like, the master bedroom looks like an old fart fogey. Remodeled it. We're going to do pictures all over again, which is fabulous, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, Jody, you haven't even been there.
I haven't even been there.
Okay. So we're going to relist it. We're going to go from there. I think Gina deserves a chance. I don't care what people say. She's a ball buster and she's great at what she does.
She is good at what she does, right?
Hopefully.
You know what? Before we get into it, the problem I have with housewives in general, it's like when they say, I forgot what it said, if it said Gina's client or Gina's friend, when it came to you and they were, it's like, are we supposed to forget that you were actually on the show?
I noticed that.
It's very weird.
How does Gina
today.
know her? Gina's like, well, I know her from around. I'm like, dude, I did a whole season with you guys.
She's a housewife. Like, we've all watched the show. Most people have watched every season.
Weird.
We just erased the fact that you were actually an Orange County housewife and now you're just Gina's friend.
Which is also odd because they normally like the organicness of the show.
Yeah.
So it's
well, they don't like me
wouldn't-
because I think they pigeonholed me with Kelly Dodd right off the bat.
Oh.
So they didn't like me because I was her friend when I came on the show, even though I didn't know her very well. They made me her friend. And then we both got fired the same season. And she said their comment she said during her season. And then they fired me. And so then I was sort of like pigeonholed. And I think that's why I haven't been really asked back because of all that drama. So I don't know.
I disagree.
Really? Why is that?
I don't think it has anything to do with Kelly Dodd. I mean, but I also, like, they brought you on, like, if they wanted you to film somehow, like, they did bring you on, but they also did ask you to leave, which looked very weird. And a lot of people were like, oh, she got dissed.
Yeah.
So,
Did I really?
I mean,
Oh,
it
I
kind
wasn't
of
paying
looks like that,
attention.
right?
I mean,
They're like, leave, bye.
yeah. I mean, you've got to merge. You've got to do your job, and sometimes you're not by enough drama or enough votes from the public eye.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they've been doing it for how many years?
18 seasons for Orange County.
Right.
Yeah.
So 18 years they've been doing it. So they've obviously got their ingredients down.
And I mean, listen, I don't know if it was really your fault. Like, you came, I think the COVID season of OC with, and then the season after, you and Dr. Jen were kind of like the back-to-back seasons where
Odd
I don't know if it was
seasons.
I don't know if it was really your fault. I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass because I'm sitting here. I feel they were two weird seasons, that COVID season.
Was
and
it the
season
production
after.
that picked the wrong people? Maybe I was just wrong for it in the first place.
You might have been wrong for it at the wrong time.
I also think they were trying, like, they kept trying to mix things up. And so they were trying, like, little things, like they brought you, then they're like, okay, this isn't working. Then they bought Jen and that didn't work, But I also truly feel like, because I know both of you guys, that you guys could have really shown more of your...
Should I have been more of a lesbian or what?
No. I always say, I'm like,
Elizabeth
should have gone drunk on camera, and she never did.
I mean, you might have kept your job if you were a lesbian.
maybe I should have just assumed the position like the whole time.
Why, before we get, what do you guys think of this season? And by the way, why does Shannon now hate you? And you just said that, so
Man.
curious.
Well, that's a new thing.
I'm hoping she doesn't. My brother had mentioned something about a grocery shopping cart full of alcohol because she was seen at the grocery store next to my house. But he never said to Gina, he'd mentioned it to Gina when Gina was on my podcast. Oh, I saw Shannon. She had a cart full of alcohol. It was New Year's, but it wasn't for her. It was for everybody at this party. She wasn't drinking it. I never said it. My brother did. So I text her, not even thinking anything, like, hey, can you come on my podcast? She's like, at this time, that would be a negative. I've bettered myself. I'm getting help. I'm like, huh? Then I watched the first episode of this season and my brother's on there talking smack about about Shannon. So now I think she thinks I'm spreading this stuff where she's still an alcoholic. And I think she's sensitive to the fact that she got the DUI. Mm-hmm. And I was part of it, this alcohol grocery cart thing.
I mean, I do have some note cards that I pulled out here. I mean, I hate to go into behind the velvet rope mode here, but so just slow down for a second and back up. So your brother was talking shit about her on the first episode of your podcast or of The Housewives?
Housewives.
He was on Orange County Housewives
the very first show this season.
Oh.
Yeah, they even showed a picture of him and they were like, well, Andrew saw Shannon with a big pile of alcohol in a grocery cart, which he did say that to Gina.
I don't remember. I literally can't remember. Oh, wow.
They showed a picture of Andrew and then basically Gina was talking about it. And she was like, well, Elizabeth
but Gina should never have brought that back up. She brought it up on camera, which pissed me off.
Right.
I think people need to leave Shannon alone. I think they're being really mean to her. Nobody knows if she's an alcoholic. I don't believe she is. I mean, she had a bad moment. Everybody does. There's so many people who get DUIs and make a wrong call or mistake while they're drinking, but it's not fair to keep like going after her the way they are this season. I think it's unfair. Totally.
I agree.
Yeah, I think being an alcoholic is its own problem. Having a DUI, it has nothing to do with being an alcoholic. Everybody pretty much will have one drink, and if they get in the car, that's technically they're over the limit. They don't go hand in hand. If you're got a DUI, it doesn't mean you're an alcoholic for sure. But it's hard when you're in the public eye because it's all over the news. Yeah. And then people start talking and then they start to reveal when she is drinking. It still doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. It's not dependent on alcohol. So I agree. I think they should leave her alone actually a lot when it comes to that topic. Everyone left Gina alone. So it's the same thing.
Exactly.
It is the same thing. I still can't believe I don't remember this clip that aired during the first episode. And I didn't know it was your brother who I met through this whole podcast thing with you. But so that's what happened. I'm just going back to that for a minute. So that happened. And then you asked her to come on to this podcast.
Not even knowing anything was wrong because I get along with all the ladies now. Like I'm friends with every single one.
But she texted you back and said,
like literally no.
And what, because your brother said this and now it's on the show?
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
I'm going to read the text.
I would have, if you did want to read the text, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Are you going to argue with that?
No, I'm not arguing with it.
I mean, I was really sad when I got it and it just said,
were you really?
And I wrote her back, like, look at this.
Like how sad.
I wrote her back housewife fashion, freaking out that I'm like, Andrew did not say that. I called Gina immediately. I'm like, did you say this? It was just crap. Like, don't throw Andrew under the bus. My brother's like super nice.